How do you choose your career path and actually find your purpose? In this video, I'm going to give you some advice you've probably never heard before and tell you how. I'm Ashleystahl, and I'm many things. I'm a TEDx speaker, a Forbes columnist, a career expert, and most importantly, the best-selling author of the book to help you get clarity on your career fit called U-Turn. Get unstuck, discover your direction, design your dream career. I'm also the host of the U-Turn podcast, my show, my podcast to help you elevate your confidence in work and love. Every single day, I am here to help you create a career that lights you up. So if you're thinking about changing jobs just like everyone else, I can't blame you. In fact, the author of best-selling book Sapiens argues after all his research that the #1 skill of the future is reinvention. Think about that. Gen Xers and baby boomers tend to lock in one job and climb the ladder, but that doesn't really work in today's world. Things are changing too fast. In fact, I heard a quote recently about how it takes decades sometimes for just one magical week of progress to happen, and yet sometimes in just weeks, decades of progress happen. That's the time we're living in right now. Change is the new normal. In fact, 71% of the workforce is on the job hunt at any given time, and as a career expert, I can't help but believe that people aren't actually job hunting just because they want a new job. They're job hunting in hopes that the next job they take scratches that gnawing itch they have on their heart, and they're hoping that perhaps that new job will feel more right for them. In short, I don't really believe that people are actually job hunting so much. I think they're clarity hunting. So how do you get clarity on your next career move? You just need to come home and connect to yourself, because when you're connected to yourself, when you stop listening to all the noise around you of who you should be or what you should be doing, it gets easier to feel into who you actually are, what your best skills are, what jobs make sense for you. I think a lot of people are walking around the planet right now kind of undefined, like they don't know what they like or who they are because they've been too busy going with the grain out of fear that if they don't just do what other people suggest to them, maybe they won't survive or get by or make enough money in the world. But let me tell you, this fear-based way of thinking is distracting you from yourself. In order to get you a little more connected to who you truly are and get that clarity on your best career move, there's a few key questions you must ask yourself. First, ask yourself, what are you naturally good at? I'm talking about your natural gifts, ways that other people may say that you make their lives easier, things that people appreciate about you, and what makes you feel most yourself. This may seem obvious, but it's not. What's funny about your natural gifts is that sometimes they're so obvious and natural to you that you don't even realize that they're not so obvious or natural to other people. The message in my book, U-Turn, is this: don't do what you love, do what you are. In a way, we sometimes take our natural brilliance for granted, and we often don't notice it. Think of your best friend. What do you most appreciate about them? What are they the best at? Perhaps they're really good at listening, or they're not so good at listening, but they light up a room and bolster everyone's spirits when they're talking. Maybe they're amazing with words and they inspire other people to listen to them. Or maybe they're a whiz at coordinating, making to-do lists, budgets, and you've had more than one coffee date with them to ask them for their help organizing your life. Whatever it is that makes your BFF who they are, that skill that they seem to have so down naturally, you better hope that the career path they're pursuing gives them opportunity to express and honor that part of themselves. That natural gift is the key to their income, and we don't realize that. So, what about you? What would your best friends say they appreciate about you? You might even want to ask them, don't even mention your career path. Just ask them where they've seen you at your best. The way that someone who really gets you answers that question will give you a clue about what part of yourself, what skill set you should consider as you design your career. Perhaps even consider asking your parents and a couple of colleagues who you're close to, when have you seen me at my best? Notice what skill set you're using in their feedback. In fact, in my book, I cover the 10 core skill sets I think exist in the workforce, and I definitely think you should check it out in chapter 2 and ask yourself, which is my core skill set? The second question to ask yourself is, what do you do on your downtime? While the first question is all about your natural gifts, this one is about what you gravitate to, your interests and your hobbies. So just take notice for a moment, right here and right now, about what you do in your downtime. Is it fitness? Is it watching baking shows? Trying out recipes? Walking on the beach? Now, it's important you don't assume, for example, that just because you love working out, your ideal career path is to become a trainer, or just because you love baking, you should become a chef. Your interests and hobbies are secondary to your natural gifts when it comes to building a career you love. There's a big difference between being a happy consumer of something, like baked goods, I love consuming baked goods, and being a talented producer of something, like the chef of said baking goods. A happy consumer isn't always an effective producer. So what I mean here is that I can recommend that you reflect on what comes naturally and joyfully to you. The first question I asked you in this video about your natural gifts is the foundation for your job options that you can choose from. But your interests, they most certainly provide a context from which you can operate. For example, if your biggest skill is in public speaking and your biggest interest is in animals, you could perhaps consider a career as a spokesperson for an organization that helps animals. This is just one of 1,000 examples I could give. Thirdly, ask yourself, what careers out there require or need my natural gifts? Start with asking yourself who you know whose natural gifts are similar to yours. What careers have they been in? Get curious about who inspires you. What skill set are they using? How do they show up in their career? This usually is feedback for who you want to be and what you perhaps want to somehow embody. If this was intriguing and you want to dig deeper, I offer a free quiz you can take on my website to get crystal clear on what career path is best for you, and it helps you identify your skill set and way of being. It's at ashleystahl.com/clarityquiz. It takes about 60 seconds to take the quiz, and from there, you'll get a handful of emails from me about your workplace personality type and what your best skill set is. In the meantime, I would love to hear from you in the comments below. What insights are you getting about yourself from this video? Whether you're on the quest for your first job or your 12th one, I wish you clarity, energy, and joy at work. Don't forget to click the subscribe button so that you can see my weekly new videos, all here to help you step into a career that lights you up, and I'll see you soon.